Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
With breathtaking ambition, they create magic that wraps its arms around our wildest imagination.
She does not want to be on that stage with Gal Gadot. And there's Gal Gadot right there. Right? Gal Gadot's just doing her job, just presenting and being a pro. Being a professional. Now you got this dummy over here, Rachel Zegler. Doesn't want to be there. They told her, hey, you got to go up there. We got to promote this movie. We want this Snow White movie to work.
The 2025 Academy Awards were meant to be a night of pure celebration, a gathering of Hollywood's brightest stars to honor the best in film. However, for Snow White co-stars Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler, the tension was impossible to ignore. As they arrived at the Dolby Theater, fans quickly noticed something unusual. They walked the red carpet separately. It was a subtle but telling sign that the rumors of a rift between the two actresses might be true. For months, speculation had been swirling about an ongoing feud, with reports suggesting that tensions began when Zegler made controversial remarks about the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. In past interviews, she referred to the 1937 Disney classic as outdated and emphasized that the new live-action remake would be a more modern, feminist take on the story. While some fans praised her for wanting to update the film, others felt she was disrespecting the legacy of one of Disney's most beloved animated features. Among those rumored to be unhappy? None other than Gal Gadot, who portrays the evil queen in the remake. Up until Oscar night, Gadot had remained silent on the matter, neither publicly defending nor condemning Zegler's comments. But that all changed with one statement that sent shockwaves through Hollywood. Dressed in a striking red Prada gown, Gadot radiated confidence as she made her way down the red carpet. Zegler, meanwhile, looked stunning in a custom Dior dress. The moment of the night, however, came when Gadot was asked about Snow White during an interview. Instead of offering the expected praise for the upcoming film, she responded with a remark that left everyone stunned. "I think it's important to respect tradition," she said. "Some people like to rewrite history, but we should never forget where we came from." Boom. Just like that, social media exploded. Fans instantly speculated that this was a direct jab at Zegler's previous comments. Some defended Gadot, applauding her for standing up for the original Snow White. Others felt she was subtly shading her younger co-star. With Snow White just weeks away from release, this off-screen drama couldn't have come at a worse time for Disney. The film had already been under intense scrutiny from critics and audiences alike, and now the growing tension between its two lead stars was threatening to derail its promotional efforts. The feud between Zegler and Gadot didn't begin at the Oscars. According to inside sources, Disney had already asked Zegler to tone down some of her social media posts, fearing they were too divisive. But things really escalated when the West Side Story actress shared the Snow White trailer online, along with the message, "Free Palestine." While this was already a bold move on its own, it became even more explosive given that Gadot is Israeli. The internet erupted in controversy, with some praising Zegler for using her platform to speak out, while others criticized her for making a political statement during the film's promotion. This wasn't just a social media firestorm, it had real consequences. Reports soon surfaced that Gadot was deeply unhappy with Zegler's post. She reportedly decided to pull out of a major promotional campaign for the film, distancing herself both professionally and personally. This single decision sent shockwaves through Disney's marketing strategy, forcing the studio to rethink its approach. But the fallout didn't stop there. According to industry insiders, Zegler's controversial remarks and the resulting backlash led to significant financial losses. She reportedly lost out on promotional deals and opportunities worth an estimated $3.5 million, a staggering blow for the rising star. This PR nightmare couldn't have come at a worse time for Disney. The studio had already been struggling with backlash over the Snow White remake, facing criticism over changes to the story, casting choices, and Zegler's previous comments about the original film. Now, with its two leading actresses caught in a very public feud, the situation had become even more difficult to manage. Disney's marketing team was reportedly scrambling to repair the damage. One insider claimed that executives were considering reducing Zegler's presence in promotional materials to avoid further controversy. There were even whispers of internal discussions about whether her involvement in future Disney projects might be reconsidered. Meanwhile, some fans were calling for Gadot to take a stronger stance in distancing herself from the drama, while others felt she was being unfairly dragged into a situation she never intended to be a part of. With Snow White's release just around the corner, the big question remains: can Disney salvage this situation? Will the feud between Gadot and Zegler overshadow the film itself? And how will this controversy impact both actresses' careers moving forward? For Gadot, the situation may not have long-term consequences.
White is gonna be taken back into the editing room, and all the shots of the seven dwarves are gonna be cut because they weren't seven dwarves. There was so much backlash, and it's been enduring for so many months that they are now subtracting all of those actors and putting in CGI dwarves.
This is a disaster.
Anything that's sort of like they're trying to do a new version of an old Disney cartoon, the Disney cartoon always wins.
Yeah, this political correctness and this used to be... it's terrible.
I don't understand what they're trying
I mean, are you going to take your kid to see this?
Probably, yeah.
I'm not.
You're going to pass on this because of this whole controversy now.
No, taking a hard pass on.
Disney has dominated the box office for years, but lately, the magic seems to be fading. Their biggest headache right now? The Snow White remake is set to hit theaters in March 2025. What was supposed to be a major win is turning into a PR disaster. From behind-the-scenes controversies to intense fan backlash, everything about this film has people questioning whether Disney still has its blockbuster touch. With several live-action remakes in the works, Snow White has become the ultimate test. Will it prove that Disney can still bring fairy tales to life, or is it a sign of the studio's decline? As audiences grow more critical and nostalgia no longer guarantees success, the pressure is on. If Snow White flops, it could spell trouble for Disney's future projects. Can the House of Mouse turn things around, or is this the start of a major downfall? Let's break it all down.
Trailer is out for Snow White, and if you thought that Disney was going to salvage this film after all the backlash that it received about the direction it was going in remaking the 1937 classic, you were wrong. And then we got photos of what was going on with Snow White during filming, and we got a look at the seven dwarves, except they weren't the seven dwarves anymore. They were the seven magical creatures, or as I like to refer to them, the seven magical diversity hires. And if you thought that somehow in this new editing process Disney was going to be able to make a cut that was less feminist girl boss, I don't think they did, because a clip, the Whistle While You Work song that is featured in Snow White, has been released and compared to the 1937 version. Let's listen to it.
Now you wash the dishes.
Now you wash the dishes.
You tidy up the room.
You tidy up the room.
You clean the fireplace.
You clean those cobwebs.
And I'll use the broom.
He'll use the broom.
Disney has found themselves in a firestorm of controversy. Co-star Rachel Zegler voices support for Palestine. And that, of course, would have been one thing if Rachel Zegler had just, tweeted out, hey, by the way, free Palestine. She's done that before. However, when you're doing it by attaching this to your promotion of your movie, you're creating a firestorm of You have people that want to boycott it because of Rachel Zegler and her support for Palestine, but you also have the biggest problem with the movie. It's for a modern era. We're going to be doing a different telling of Snow White because, quite honestly, it's not 1837 anymore, and a lot of those ideals just aren't palatable today, and it looks terrible.
If you thought Disney was going to fix this Snow White disaster after all the backlash, think again.
If you thought Disney was going to course correct after all the Snow White backlash, think again. From the moment this remake was announced, fans were skeptical, but once behind-the-scenes details started emerging, things spiraled out of control. First, the seven dwarfs? Gone. Instead, Disney rebranded them as seven magical creatures, a move that instantly sparked criticism. Some even dubbed them the 7 magical diversity hires, accusing Disney of prioritizing messaging over storytelling. And for those, hoping the studio would dial back the overly modern girl boss energy, not happening. A newly released clip of Whistle While You Work has only fueled the controversy.